Hey, what's up? This is Lane. We're going to talk today about the new Mac Studio. I'm so excited about this, and I just wanted to go live and talk to you about it. We're going to look at a little article here from TechCrunch, where we're going to talk about what they've got going here. So this is TechCrunch. Apple announced a handful of new products in a pre-recorded online event. That was today. And the company announced a brand new desktop computer called the Mac Studio. It's a small tower computer that looks a little bit like two Mac Mini computers stacked on top of each other. So I have a Mac Mini M1. I absolutely love my Mac Mini M1. I use it for editing. I use it for video production. It is a beast of a computer, and it was really, really inexpensive. It was like $12.99 total. So I was very interested to see the Mac Studio come out, and I really wanted to look at some of the specs to see how is this thing gonna stack up against the Mac Mini, the iMac. I know a lot of people that do editing, course creation, content creation, they are coming from the kind of I feel like forever it was just all about the MacBook Pro. Got to have the MacBook Pro. The problem with the MacBook Pro that I found is that it was always loud. It was just loud all the time. Like it was going to take off into space at any given point. Like it's always loud. So the thing I've loved about the Mac Mini is that it doesn't have that loudness. It's very, very quiet, and it's a beast. It can handle a ton of video content, a ton of editing, a ton of pieces of software going at one time. Anything that I do all day long, it can handle, which is an amazing thing. So I was very interested to see how is Mac Studio going to compare to the Mac Mini. It has an SD card slot and two Thunderbolt 4 ports on the front. Half of the interior is occupied with a thermal system to keep the system cool during heavy load. I thought that was interesting. The design is the top. This entire part is like 2 or 3 little funnel type fans that just bring air up through it and circulate air through it and then out the back. That's very interesting. So it should be cool and it should be quiet, hopefully. I do want to mention this. The thing I really love is that it has the SD card slots in the front, or at least one SD card slot. This was something that Apple completely was doing away with on their Mac Minis. I'm pretty sure they did away with it on the MacBook Pros altogether, on the Mac Airs, on the iMacs. I mean, pretty sure that was gone, and it was a massive pain because, like everything else with Apple, you had to have a dongle and you had to plug it in. And I've got a dongle plugged into the back of my Mac Mini so that I can have it accessible up here to the front with the SD card. So having just that, the practicality of the SD card brought back, and it's right there where you can pull it out of your camera, you can put it in, and you're good to go. That is a huge, huge thing. At the back of the device, you'll find an additional 4 Thunderbolt 4 posts, a 10 gigabyte per second Ethernet port, 2 USB Type A ports, an HDMI port, a Pro Audio Jack port. It supports Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5. So it's kind of got everything in the back, which is kind of nice. You can see those things right here. The Mac Studio features Apple's own systems on a chip, including the newly announced M1 Ultra. So this is what I'm really excited about because I was incredibly blown away and impressed by the M1 itself. Just the original M1, I feel like, is a fantastic product. It literally changed my entire kind of system of making videos because it made the process so much faster and easier to do. So the M1 Ultra is an even faster variant of the M1 chip. It's more powerful than the M1 Pro, the M1 Max, and Ultra. This is a new chip. This new chip lets you do a lot of things. For instance, you can connect up to 4 Pro XDR displays and a 4K TV. So it's got capabilities of hooking up way more monitors or displays, as they call them. The display that they're selling with this is $15.99. So you can get the the Mac Studio for $19.99, I think, is the base price, and then the display for $15.99. Obviously, you don't have to spend that much. I have a very nice display for $400. ultra wide, but it's kind of cool that they do that. Here we see a little bit of the numbers up to 20 core CPU, up to 64 core on the 800 gigabytes per second. I don't really know exactly what I'm looking at there. Let me just keep going. Okay, the Mac Studio comes with an M1 Max or an M1 Ultra system on a chip, and Apple shared some performance charts for the Mac Studio with the M1 Ultra. With the M1 Max, you can expect 3.4 faster GPU performance compared to the Radeon Pro in the Mac Pro. You can expect a 90% jump in computing performance compared to the 16-core Mac Pro. If you max out the existing Mac Pro, the M1 Ultra is supposed to be 80% faster than the fastest Mac Pro. That's very interesting. So maxing out 80% faster, it supports up to 128 gigabyte of memory. That's a ton of memory. That's a massive capacity. The M1 Max is limited to 64 gigabytes of memory. That's still pretty good. The Mac Studio with an M1 Max chip, 32 gigabytes of unified memory, 512 gigabytes of storage is $19.99. So I don't know that it would be enough just because of the limitations there. I might have to go up a little bit more. The Mac Studio with an M1 Ultra chip, 64 gigs of unified memory, 1 terabyte of storage is $39.99, available on March 18th. And that's what it looks like on the back. So you're looking at $19.99 or $39.99 respectively for the different sizes. I would love to hear what you think about this. If you're watching live or in the comments later, are you excited about this Mac coming out? Do you think that you'll pick one up? Have you used the Mac Mini? Is that something that you've used? And particularly, what I like to talk about with this kind of stuff is most of my audience is course creators, online business owners. So I am a huge proponent of whatever machine is just going to get me there faster. Like, what is going to be the least amount of friction between me being productive? I don't want any interruptions. I don't want something to slow down, to break. And I have just found that the Mac Mini for the price has been incredible. Whether the Mac Studio is worth the increase in price, I'll have to see. I'm not sure where I'll land on that, but I'm very interested in this news, very interested to find out what you think. And I am looking forward to hearing from you. If you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. If you haven't yet, pick up your free copy of my super simple guide to your first $500 online. If you want to make an online business where you don't just buy a computer like this, even though it's really cool, but you actually make content that helps people, that's meaningful to you, and is a way to share your knowledge, your expertise, your experience with the world, you can pick up my super simple guide to your first $500 online. It's totally free. Just go to lanesebring.com/super simple. I'll drop a link to it in the comments and at the top of the description, and I'll see you the next time we go live or do a video. Take it easy.